Hey, it's Keith from Outlaw Speed Shop, and welcome to the January 2021 Four Horsemen build. The theme is Dakar Rally, which I had to Google because I had no idea what it was. I'm not a 4x4 off road person, but this is the build for the month. So, as you know, the four of us get together every month, and each one of us picks a car or a casting to work with. So, we're all working with the same thing, and that person also picks the theme. This month, it is the, you can see my frustration because I have no idea what to do with this. So, anyways, this month's the Dakar Rally. I went a different route this time because I have zero clue what I was doing, and I did Google it. I just thought the casting was kind of already set up for it, so I really had no idea what to do. And I've been wanting to do a video on a casting and just making it better. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this one. I thought the shape of the truck, the casting, the entire thing kind of was already set up for the rally theme. So what I'm going to do is the roof looked kind of bare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off an area and kind of follow with what was on the hood and kind of paint that black. So I'm just using some different tape to mask that off. But I mean, a lot of these Hot Wheels castings, or any castings for that matter, a lot of times they're way off the mark. They're just horrible. The paint schemes are made for 3-year-olds. But every once in a while, they get it right, and I think they got it right on this one. So what I'm doing is kind of showing that you don't have to go crazy to make a really cool looking casting. There's some that already have good bones, I guess you could say, and this is one of them. And by just doing a few things and painting the details, you can turn around and take something that was okay and really make it cool and make it your own. And it's a good way to get into the hobby. If you're new and you're not sure what you want to do, and you don't have a shit ton of tools, access to a bunch of wheels, I didn't add anything to this except for paint. It's all stuff you can pick up at your hobby store locally, or if you have to, a Hobby Lobby or anything like that, or even Amazon. Just some brushes, paint. I did use the Citadel Paints Army Painter Vallejo, but you can just pick one and go with it. You don't have to have like 8,000 different ones like I do. That's what I have, so I tend to use it because I've picked them up over the course of the last 3 years. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm going to mask this section off, and you can see I'm just kind of making an inverted U here to follow what was on the hood. And I'm going to end up using a rattle can. I'm going to use the Chaos Black that I use on just about everything. And it's a good undercoat to put things on, if you're going to do any kind of painting over it. It's not really a primer per se, but it's got a nice satin finish. And on this, it doesn't matter because I am going to clear this afterwards with my own clear. The one thing that tends to happen with the Hot Wheels, at least because I'm more familiar with those in the Matchbox, is they don't, they do clear them, but it's really not up to my standards, I guess you could say. They definitely fall short. Obviously, for a production standpoint, it makes sense. So, and I'm also going to do the rear where the bed would be, what was left of it, and where the roll bar actually meets it's supposed to be the frame. So I'm just kind of masking off some different things, and then that's going to work out pretty well for me to be able to just spray. Obviously, I have to be careful to make sure I get as much of the body that I don't want to get overspray on, paint masked off, because you'll be amazed at the nooks and crannies that that paint can fly into when you're trying to be careful. So it's better to be safe than sorry. I probably use a lot more tape than I need, but that's essentially what I got there. And I'm also going to do the base or the interior piece, which is also the back. Even though that's already black, I wanted a nice surface to be able to do my detail painting on. So that Chaos Black works well for that. Now I got my Molotov pen. I'm going to hit some details with chrome. Obviously the door handles, door locks, which I guess I could also have gone black to keep the theme going, but I wanted something that was going to stand out a little bit, but also be semi kind of subtle, I guess you could say. So I'm going to hit that with the chrome pen. I'm going to hit the lights on top of the roll bar with the chrome pen. And then I'm going to also do the grill with the chrome pen. And I had to do the grill a couple times, but that was just because a lot of times on a shiny surface like this, you can't see what you miss. So you have to go back over it a couple times just to make sure. Or maybe it's just me because I'm old and my eyesight sucks, but that's actually my biggest problem with doing these. Yeah, I got a little bit of a shaky hand, but like 12 cups of coffee tends to do that. But my eyesight's just getting horrible, and I got all the magnifiers and all this other stuff. It's my near vision, seeing up close. I have to use cheaters. Once you hit 45, everything goes downhill from there. So for the last 5 years, I've been using cheaters to see up close. But I wear contacts, so that's gonna have to stop pretty soon. But anyways, I digress. So obviously, trying to find things. Every casting is different as to what you're going to detail. And again, this is just one of those builds that I'm just doing to show that you don't need fancy rims. I mean, all that's great, And if you start looking on Instagram, which I've been spending a lot more time on lately. I mean, there's some builders out there that, I mean, you just look at this stuff and I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they have little baby fingers to be able to get in and do stuff, or they have the patience of a saint. But either way, it's some killer work. But if you just start small, they get some ink pens here that work really, really well. I've tried just about everything, and these are the best. If you start really small and just don't push yourself, just do what you can do, what you have available. You can drill these out, even if you don't have a tap and drill. This actually, I didn't drill and tap it. I just it actually snapped right back in, so I didn't have to. And I usually do, but the bed I was concerned with, because the tab where the rivet is was only, maybe a quarter inch, maybe if I'm lucky, but I don't even think it was that. So obviously I'm going to hit all the black details, and then I use my Molotov pen, as I explained earlier, to do the grill. And again, just take your time and be patient. I mean, the whole idea of working on these is kind of twofold. One is just more of a creative outlet for me, but it's also just a way to de-stress. And I think I've heard and talked to a lot of people. They all say the same thing. It's all about de-stressing, coming home, and just forgetting about everything. And the house is on fire, the kids are screaming, whatever, you're downstairs working on your Hot Wheels. It's just a way to shut off the noise of the day. And that's kind of what I do it for. Unfortunately, this build got lumped in with two other builds that were all due at the same time, and I fell behind because of work and everything else. So it kind of worked out that I had no freaking clue what to do with this, and that I'm just doing what I'm doing, because if I had to do more, I don't think I would have finished it. As it is, I finished it, recorded it, edited it, and did the voiceover and rendered it, uploaded to YouTube all the day previous. So it's, when you're trying to record stuff and do everything, it adds time to a build. So it's not most conducive for making a quality build sometimes. So especially when you're behind the gun. But anyways, so now again, you can see I got a mixture of different paints that I use. Right now I'm using the Vallejo white, and I'll use some Vallejo yellow just to hit the lights on the light bar now that the chrome is dry. Point of note, the chrome pens, they take a while. It's not like the regular paints where 10 minutes later you can go over and you can start handling it and painting over it or whatever. The chrome takes a little while to dry, and set in. And if you're working in a cold area, then it takes a little bit longer. So just so you guys know. So I'm doing the outside lights white. I'm going to do the inside white lights yellow, just to add a little bit of contrast to that. And then the rest is going to be detail. I got to obviously hit the roll bars and stuff like that, which I'll show you in a second. But and I don't go a build without using lead belcher. If you see a little bit of a light off to the side in the lower right-hand corner, that's just me not being able to see and adding an extra light so that I could actually be able to try to record. A lot of this I don't usually record because I can't see, so my head is like an inch away from what it is I'm painting, so you guys wouldn't be able to see anyways, except the back of my head, which probably is not a good idea. So obviously I'm going to take some orange, and I'm going to hit all the bead locks on these wheels and try to make that stand out. It's just a little detail, but it's something that helps things stand out. Then I get the skid guard. Just go around and try to find things that you think will stand out without going overkill. You don't have to go crazy. I know a lot of these builders will go nuts on this, and more power to them. I'm going to clear it with my automotive clear that I use. It's 2K clear. While that's drying, I will do the chassis, interior, stuff like that, just the final details, just to try to make things stand out a little bit. These Four Horsemen builds is great because you get to see everybody's take on things, and I'm sure people are going to go nuts with this, especially since we've opened it up to just about everybody. So that's what's great. I mean, at the same time, it sucks to, you spend a day watching the same freaking car all the time, or the same casting by 20 different people. And I know that gets old. But at the same time, if you look at it, it's nice to see everybody's interpretation of something and, how you can go multiple directions with just, one casting, and how many different ways it can be done. And sometimes having parameters are nice, because you know what you got to do, and sometimes having free reign is great, but at the same time it can hurt you because you get overwhelmed. This is the finished product, all the little bits and pieces here. You can see all the details, and again, that's all time-consuming stuff, and it's all stuff that hones skills that you need to get better with each build. So as you recall, since it was only 10 minutes ago, this was the original casting. I didn't deviate from any. I didn't add anything except for paint. I think it's a great casting. Hot Wheels did a killer job on it. And this is what I ended up with. Again, details. The hood scoop, painted the inside black, the light bar, the wheels, the interior, skid plate, all that stuff just adds up to what I think came out of, a decent, my interpretation of what a Dakar Rally truck would look like. I guess is as good as mine. It's not my area. We're talking hot rods and muscle cars and blowers, and it's a different story. But so anyways, I hope you guys like it. I'm going to leave a link down below to all three of the other contestants that are part of the Four Horsemen, and also make sure you check everybody else that's doing a Four Horsemen build. There's quite a few nowadays, which is great. The more the merrier. And other than that, also check Diecast Graveyard. He's got a video that highlights each month's build, so if you do want to participate, you can. I will also put a link to that in the description down below. You can see that clear coat, what a difference it makes. That's one of the main things. You could just do that, and it would make your casting 10 times cooler. So anyways, a few more pictures here. I appreciate you guys watching. I'm sorry it was just a quick, easy build. Nothing custom, no crazy shit. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next one.